Okay, y'all, so let's talk about it. Beyond the Gates, episode 38, 39, and 40. So let's talk about Dr. McBride first off. So Dr. McBride, okay, ends up getting into a situation with a patient where the patient dies, okay, because he's focusing on gambling. So the patient ends up dying. He ends up getting upset. Okay, he ends up punching the fucking desk and breaking his hand. So now he's out, sitting out. He can't do no surgeries for a while until his hand heals. Okay, so Joey is pressing his best friend to try to get him to get Doug back into the casino. And Doug is injured. So Doug already been saying he wasn't going back to the casino. He was done gambling. This and the third. He was putting in extra hours in the ER, in the surgery room, in the OR or whatever, to pay pay back Joey the money. But now that he's injured, he's not going to be able to pay Joey his money back as quickly as he wants to. So Joey makes a pop-up visit to Doug at the at the hospital. Okay, and talks about like how he need to owe him, pay him back his money. And then here comes Vanessa popping in trying to figure out why Joey is there talking to Doug. Okay. So another thing that happened, but I forgot to say it in one of the previous episodes. Vanessa little boo thing, the one that's her workout partner, okay, the one that she been seeing on the side. Vanessa gets this guy to train Doug as a physical trainer or whatever. Like, why do you want your boo thing training Doug and that's the one that you sleeping with and you want him around your husband, girl? Like, you crazy. So let's talk about, Danny. No, let's talk about Danny. So Danny is in a good mood, okay? She is just doing her. Her and Andre just kicking it. They just having the time of that life. She just having a good time, getting back to her old self. So her and her partner had decided they was going to run their own model. I mean, not her partner, but her best friend. They decided they was going to run their own modeling agency for girls because, they already been through the whole modeling thing. They know the business in and out. So that's something that they're going to start. So that's what she's more excited about. Now, Kat, Chelsea, and Samantha, okay, is all coming up with an idea to make this business that Kat and Chelsea is coming up with, like a family type of business where, they getting the family in on it. And Kat suggests that they get Danny in as the marketing person or whatever, but Chelsea is not on board with that because she don't really want to be underneath her mother's shadow. She like, the reason why I'm starting this purse business and I stopped doing modeling is because I really don't want to be underneath my mother's shadow, but it just seems like she keep needing Danny for everything. So the family all go out to the karaoke bar in the Uptown, okay, for a nice family dinner. Anita Vernon, let's see who else went. Chelsea, Kat, all of them, the whole family went. Okay, went to this event. And Anita, Danny and Danny's daughter Vanessa, they all had went up on the stage and sang at karaoke night, and they shut the shit down. Okay. But Anita was like very nervous because she was like, Anita used to be a singer back in the day, but she was real nervous because she was like, she don't know how her voice sound after all these years, and she don't want to be embarrassed, but she did a good job. She didn't sound bad or anything like that. So Vernon sets up a meet with a guy who he wants, a guy that's trying to get Anita to get back into singing. He wants her to get into a concert. He wants it to be like a big thing where she's doing her own solo act and stuff like that. Getting back into the feel of things and getting back into the business of singing and stuff. But Anita is like, she don't know about all that because, it's been a while since she been in the singing career with her group or whatever. It's been years, so she don't know if she ready to get with that. But Vernon is encouraging her to do it and different things like that. So what else is going on in the world? So Bill, okay. Bill and Haley is expecting to have this baby. Okay. Bill was still doing shady shit at his law firm. So he did end up hiring the 3 women back that was going to sue him. But he got people watching them while they at the job. So he could get all the intel on what's going on with them. So, that's just some shady shit. Like, he just pretty much, like, made the settlement, gave them the money and all that just so he wouldn't lose the firm. But, he still want to keep tabs on what these women is doing and stuff like that. So, we'll see how that goes as far as he might end up getting hit with another lawsuit eventually down the line. Kat and Tomas is hitting it off pretty good. But also, Tomas had a conversation with Eva, okay? And Eva had expressed to Tomas about how, she was envious of Kat and stuff because he had that father around and she never had a father around and different things like that. And she just, was talking real deep to Tomas. She can really, like, talk to him about some things. So now here comes Eva and Leslie, okay? So Leslie then went around and started shopping and shit. Okay, brought a dress, spending time with her friends, buying them rounds of drinks at the bar and all this shit on the money that that Ted had gave her or whatever. So they asking her like, "Oh, where you get all this money from? You got enough money to buy all this expensive stuff?" And she was like, "Yeah, I had hit the lottery and all this and that." Like, and she was bragging on him and shit. And then she was like, "Well, I got a new man in my life, but y'all ain't gonna know who he is soon." Talking about Ted, but Ted don't want her ass, right? But she was like, "Y'all gonna know who he is soon enough." So they trying to plan Ted and Nicole's anniversary party or whatever, right? So Eva, like, I'm calling her Dana now. So Dana Leslie, okay, Dana Leslie is trying to see if Eva is on board. Eva is really trying to, like, back out of the whole situation. She don't really want to be, like, a part of the whole thing with Ted and her mom or whatever, but they already in deep and her mother is not letting it go. Like, she basically saying, like, well, maybe you can tell him at another time. You might not have to tell him at the anniversary party, but the mother is gung-ho on doing it. Like, she even went to the country club to try to book her a job, so that she could be a part of this whole ordeal, as the another server, so she can, blow it up at the anniversary party and all that. So, yeah, and also Andre called Nicole or whatever to try to get some pictures and stuff and documentary on what, because he's trying to put together a little piece for their anniversary party. But Ted got all nervous because remember I told y'all he revealed the secret to Andre about him and Dana being together or whatever, and Nicole don't know. So he thought that Andre was going to expose his secret, but Andre isn't really going to expose his secret or whatever the case may be. He can really trust Andre. So yeah, that's pretty much the rundown. Oh, and something that's going on with the twins. So something that's really fishy about the twins' past, okay, that's about to resurface. I don't know how Martin and Smitty got a hold of these twins, how they end up adopting them, but I feel like it has a lot to do with Martin's big secret, okay? That he has Martin's big secret. That's all I got to say. That's kind of what I feel. So yeah, let's talk about it. Y'all go ahead and get in the comments and let's see what y'all think about the episodes.